Hi everyone, SoulServer17 here, like usual. I made the thumbnail, I just don't have pictures, non-paid video. Alright, okay, so here's the thing. I'm making a video right now. I've been trying to do my schoolwork, try to get done with it as soon as possible. But I kind of hit a snag for the past 2 days. I couldn't do nothing. I was trying to figure out what was going on until I found out I may need to update my program for doing my coding. So it looks like after it's done, I'm going to be doing the schoolwork as much as I can, and I got only 2 days to work on something. I got 2 things I gotta get done today. It's just not my luck, guys. So yeah. It's almost done, but I figured why not make this video now? I mean, I've been kind of putting it off. So, as I remember from the last video that I watched a while back, it's been, I gave him a new form, basically. His hair go green, still with the red, basically highlights he'll have in his hair. He has scales, and, he had this glow around him, like Ultra Instinct Goku, not mastered, but in a way, how should I say this? It's not gonna be kept. Someone said, please don't give him it. Let him keep it. I'm not. It only was gonna be useful just to a certain degree. Will this video be long? Maybe. Will it be an hour? No, maybe. I came up with a new idea, another solo leveling idea. But it's with Naruto, and another one with Issei. But in the sense, the Naruto one is not even the Goro reincarnation. It's just Naruto, just becoming, Sun Jin Woo's successor. In a sense, it's just that, he becomes it. But the slight difference is I've been kind of reading the manga every so often, but because of schoolwork, it passed by my head. But basically, the creators the angels that would go against the monarchs, would be in Naruto's universe. But the only thing is, they have to do what Sun Jin Woo would do, but in a sense, not give the power, to that person. More like take over their body, possessing them, and live their life. But have all the knowledge of that universe, the history of it. Hence the reason why I'm thinking, why not just have Sakura die off and make it a new person? Don't know yet. Idea is still pretty bit fuzzy, but I did like some ideas for what Naruto had the solo leveling system. Some videos I've watched, and I kind of got some inspiration from them, but not really. It's only a little thing to add to the idea. But enough me talk. Let's just get into this video. All right, okay. So this is what Deku, became Shadow the Hedgehog, or became. I clearly cannot see the title right now. Actually, wait. Yeah, I was right. It was. So, as we left off, it's been about maybe a month and a half since Amy, Diane, and Shadow have been going around the world. You see, what has been happening is Sonic has been facing, the creatures and going for the story of Sonic. Sonic Unleashed, going through everything. They have met up with with Chip and Sonic and Tails, and it's been quite an impressive thing on how well Diane's taken to the world and how impressed she is. Shadow has realized this power is very potent to only against the creatures that come out, at night, and that is very different from Sonic. because it seems like anytime though they were together at night, he was in his werehog form. Shadow basically, had some light in his hand, and then Sonic went back to his hedgehog form. They deduced that it's something to do with the night and day cycle. With Sonic already, but with Shadow, it seems like doesn't matter. They don't know. So, by this point in time, Shadow and Amy and Diane came back over to Japan. And Ship already found out who he was. He was like Gaia and stuff. So, when they arrive, Shadow and Amy basically are walking down the streets with Diane's hand, both of their hands, as basically Diane's just basically been laughing away, saying she can't believe how much fun she had this past month. She was even happy that basically her papa bought her something to wear when she gets older. Basically earrings. Dragon earrings. Why not? So, basically, Shadow's like, well, you wanted them, and, well, I couldn't say no to you. Which Amy's looking at him, basically just smiling, and then looks back, and then looks at Diane and just nods, and then she goes, well, what's your most favorite thing? She goes, Italy, basically, Diane says to Amy. And saying she had, so much fun seeing the fishes and the different sights. And, well, the food there was really tasty, she says. Basically, so, Amy and Shadow are both chuckling. So, after about maybe 45 minutes, they get back to his place and see Inko and Aizawa. Basically, they announced their home. Well, technically, they would announce they were home, but they were just about to walk out. And, well, Aizawa says, welcome home. So, did you enjoy your long month and a half vacation? He was like, yeah, anything happened while we were out? Basically, what, Shadow says. Which Aizawa goes, nothing much, just a test. Which, well, it was just a practice test for them to see how well they'll do. I already told them as soon as you two come back, along with Sonic and Tails, it was going to be the real deal. And then, well, we have another thing that's happening afterwards. So be prepared. As then, well, Shadow goes, right, thanks. So, anyways, who's hungry? We basically been teleporting all around the world, or I've been running around the world with them, in my arms, so kind of hungry. And which Inko just says, well, we were going to go out to eat, since it was only the two of us, but since you're back, I'll make something. So basically, Inko starts making some, lunch. As, Amy says she'll help, Diane and Shadow go to the couch and sit down as basically Shadow takes out of a bag something that they bought her, a coloring book, and she starts to take out a crayon that Shadow gave the box of crayons to her and starts to draw in the book, in the coloring book. Hold up. Okay, so my download's done. I have enough time to do my schoolwork, and for the two things, just not enough for another thing. So, I'm going to basically do this first and then get it done. Alright, so basically, as I was saying, Diane is basically, just coloring. So, Aizawa sits down and goes, so, how do you like being a father? Which Shadow just goes, it's only been a month, and it's tough, but I like it. I really do. And with Amy's help, it's been easy. Really easy. Just tiring sometimes, I know I'm the fastest thing alive. Well, maybe second fastest. But it still does get me tired after a while. Oh, and Fleet really does like having a niece. Well, grandniece, or, well, I mean, he's like a grandfather to me, so, you know. Which, basically, Aizawa nods, and he was, well, accountable that he was your, well, uncle, and now he's, well, the only thing you have around, besides us, I mean, from your past. And he was like, I know, Dad. Don't worry. And besides, I actually been really happy a lot lately. Happy I'm in this, well, time period at least. Which, that brings a smile to Aizawa's face. And then he says, so am I. Now, there have been some things you gotta know. Which, basically, Shadow's like, huh? Wait, what do I have to know? Like, he gets all serious all of a sudden. He's like, well, Sonic is finding a way. I mean, not finding, but Sonic found a way how to bring the planet back together, as you may have heard, since he keeps in contact with the school. And plus, I mean, Eggman has been gathering up the weird creatures, Dark Gaia's residue energy that went all over the planet, as you know, which basically Shadow was like, yeah, but it seems like he's not planning to do anything with it. I mean, what has he done? Make his own Eggman empire in a location that's where the last, I don't know, ruin or temple is? Which Azal just shrugs. So, basically, he does say though, but why is the only area that is still floating is Japan? It doesn't make no sense. In which Azal just shrugs again. So, after, the chat, the talk, everyone's catching up, even with Inko, basically talking to Amy on like how she's been with Shadow, and she says it's been good. She really enjoys her time, and well, he always keeps them safe. But it's been way more fun than I ever expected, more than with Sonic and the game, basically. Which she's happy, and then she goes like, "Have you seen any of your friends? Outside or kept in touch with them during the time?" She was like, "Oh yeah," which she does say. I basically saw, well, basically they gave this nickname, she says, to this guy that basically he just called Big. Or he basically is called Cat, so we just call him Big the Cat. In which he goes, huh? Inko. Which, so she kind of explains his quirk is a cat-like quirk, and he loves fishing and has a frog named, Froggy. Which he goes, oh, and then basically they talk about during the one time they met, basically Vector, Charmy, and Espio. In which then basically Inko goes like, wow. I mean, where? She basically says, well, it was technically in America. They said they were having a job there, basically. Which Inko was like, what they work, and they say detectives. And when she goes, that's amazing, but then Amy says, the only ones who actually are good at it are Charmy and Espio. Vector can be good at some points, but not all the time. In which Inko has a switch out, goes like, oh, I see. So, after that, we then have, well, Izuku basically, sitting down at the dining table with everyone. As they're all eating and such, basically Inko puts on the TV as the reporter, and basically is showing that Sonic the Hedgehog and basically two UA students are entering the Eggman Fortress, basically, which Izuku, basically Shao just looks at Aizawa, he goes like, you gotta be kidding me. That's like, no, why did I get that right? Sort of look. As Aizawa was like, did you? He was like, I didn't know, actually. Let's just hope nothing happens. he doesn't, done goofed it up, basically. In which everyone nods. But Diane is looking at the screen. And basically, she knows, she sees the weird creatures that, that is going into the actual, Eggman fortress as her eyes widen, as then suddenly she gets a flashback of everything, in which she knows who she is now. She knows she is Dark Gaia, and that, let me explain for a little bit of a backstory of what she remembered. She remembered that she was just a being like Gaia. A being that basically was a creature, or should I say, basically a being that was first. Since they are basically the planet, basically light and dark Gaia. In my assumption, this is kind of my own little thing, but basically, both beings of light and dark, they lived in, harmony. Nothing to be the problem. Until humanity came in and worshipped light Gaia and feared dark Gaia. The negative emotions of the people turned her to being one of destruction and chaos and does not have no mind. She is basically a being of darkness that was not, turned into anything, but was after humans came to be and stuff, and that's why she tried to destroy the world, because technically through negative emotions and basically fear and hatred, she became the being that everyone that became the one of legend, the one that was destined to destroy the world. And they were sealed away with the help of people, the temples, and like Gaia. So, as Diane remembers now, she has to go back and try to stop it. Try to stop, her power to basically be born without an actual being there. The one to let all that chaos and destruction now, since she has a conscience and knows there's good people, that's the normal stuff that actually would happen. Basically in an anime or something. Cliche moment, I know, but basically she realized she needs to go back and invent the destruction of the world because it's very beautiful and she's glad she got to see it all over again. But she still wants to be around everyone, but it's hard though. So everyone's talking around, enjoying their good time, but the only one who knows, Diane's basically worries is Shadow. So after everything's done eating, they're all in the living room, Shadow brings up, goes, Diane, what's wrong? Which goes, nothing, Papa. Nothing's the matter. In which, Shadow sighs and he says, look, Diane, I know something's wrong. Because, I'm keeping a close eye on you ever since after you looked at the TV. So, please, if you come to me with anything, or tell me anything, I won't be mad or upset with you, I promise. In which, her own fear of basically her, father and mother figure to abandon her is scary for her, but it does scare her, but she does relent and tell. So, hold up. Okay, so she says this, I'm Dark Gaia, in which everyone is kind of shocked by this, but, especially Shadow and Amy, but Shadow goes like, what do you mean? So she tells them, what, like Chip would say, pretend it's Chip's story, but with what I said about her, particular. In which, and she goes, and that's the last thing I remember. In which Inko is crying, which she thinks, it's basically, because she's afraid of her or upset with her or something. Amy's like just silent, but then walks over, which she thinks something bad is gonna happen. But Amy and Inko, Amy hugs her, but Inko runs over and hugs her too. Amy just says, "My poor baby girl," and Inko says, "My poor baby granddaughter," which she's kind of surprised as Zawa is just shocked by this and worried that about his own granddaughter would think like this. Now Shadow, he looks at her and he just has a slight, smile that says, that basically brings calm to her, heart and says, "No matter what, I'm not scared, nor am I upset. I really do care about you, Diane." He does reach out, for, for Diane, and then just pats her on the head. He was like, "And it doesn't matter to me, you are Dark Gaia. You're still my daughter." And nothing will change that. Understand? In which, she starts to tear up for all this love and care, and then she nods. And a few minutes pass. Now, though, something's happening on the TV. Well, they never shut it off. Technically, no, wait, yeah, it did say shut it off. So basically, she asked if they could turn back on the TV, in which they do. So, everything with Sonic happened. They basically got to the actual temple, and everyone can see this dark energy is being released from, the cracks between Japan and the other parts of the planet that were broken off, which Diane just basically look at it, and she knows what she has to do. But everyone looks at her, and she goes, "I have to go." In which Amy says, "I won't let you go there. What would happen to you?" Basically, being a overprotective mother stuff, because they really do care for her. Basically, in some, Amy says this: she doesn't want her to go. You don't know what will happen to you if you go there. You don't know, basically, what will happen. She doesn't want to lose her. In which Diane says, "Don't worry, Mama. I'll be back. I promise." She says with a smile, but Shadow, I think Shadow will still be thinking and know better. As then he goes, "Diane, basically before he even says anything like "don't go," she disappears in a cloud of basically of darkness that covers her, and she's gone. Which Amy ain't dumb. She ain't dumb. She would know. She goes she looks at Shadow, and Shadow goes "Don't worry. I'll go there and make sure nothing bad happens, okay?" She goes, "You just try to bring her back, please." And then he nods. He does go over to Amy and hug her, and says he'll be back. Give me a minute. So, after he says I'll be back, he disappears, and I'm basically just running off. And so, Amy's looking at the doorway where he went out of and says, "You better." So, after that, Shadow runs over to Eggman base. Well, he made a call to Gun and they got the location, they send the coordinates, and then he basically gets over there. So, when he arrives and goes through the whole entire facility, destroying Eggbots, basically going down the tube that Sonic fought the Egg Dragon, and he basically gets there. He basically sees Sonic, basically in super form. As then he goes "Am I in time? Where is she?" Shadow basically looking around. As then he looks at Sonic again, Sonic's looking in a direction where he notices somebody. And he doesn't know what Sonic is saying. But let's go to Sonic. As Sonic is basically in super form right in front of Chip, and because he basically became part of the temple. And he's fighting the non-conscious beast of Dark Gaia. Basically, Sonic's in super form. He's like, all right, time to save the day. And wait, why do I? What's going on? As he's basically hearing somebody, saying like, "Hi, Mr. Sonic." Basically, in a kid's voice, and he doesn't understand why he's hearing Diane's voice. As then he looks over to where, for some reason, his things can start telling him as he sees, Diane. As he's saying, "Diane, what are you doing here? It's dangerous. Get out of here." As she goes, I mean, only he can hear because Diane doesn't know, Shadow's there. So he's like, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop myself from destroying the world. Don't worry, you won't have to get hurt. Which Sonic was like, huh? What do you mean? So Diane starts to glow. This basically bright purple glow, which Shadow can see now, as he's yelling out, "Diane, don't!" Which Sonic was like, just realizing he doesn't know what's happening, but for some reason his gut feeling telling him, he needs to stop this. So he rushes over as fast as he can, as when he basically is about to get to Diane, and try to stop her, all of a sudden she turns into this, purple orb and floats as fast as he goes, just in super form, basically into Dark Gaia, as he goes, crap! What's going on? As then basically, as soon as he sees the purple orb going into Dark Gaia lets go of Chip, as Chip doesn't even understand what's happening. As then basically, what's going on is Dark Gaia's body is starting to glow. It's starting to change and morph. It's starting to be a whole lot more different than what it was in the game. A better design, you can say, as instead of just having like multiple eyes on one big giant eye, it basically went back into the form of it was originally, but with more of a, how should I say this? The actual horns that had looked like teeth actually look like horns now, and it actually looks like, instead of just something that's coming out of the actual magma of the planet, it actually grows legs and arms and has wings basically. As Chip goes like, "Is she back? Is Dark back?" He has this little, cheering as sound of his voice in his head, but then basically that purple glow that was around it did fade, as then when Dark Gaia looks at Chip, you can see it has like a little smile, but then all of a sudden this bright purple aura starts to come off, as then basically the power starts to basically not rate, but emit. That's what I was trying to say, but I messed up. Emit off of Dark Gaia more now, in way more of a density, and where it's hard to even see the outlook of the planet going up. Just going back. Looks like it's not going to come back down, basically. So everyone is shocked by this, as then you could just hear Diana's voice screaming out in pain, as Shadow and Sonic and Chip are, worried and, basically Shadow's worried and scared. Sonic doesn't know what's happened, but he's worried for Diane. And Chip is worried because, Dark Gaia is back to its original form, and, basically the power that it has, it's even more now. So, Chip is worried. Basically, she said, and basically they can hear her just screaming out, "It hurts too much," basically too much pain. As then it's, basically starts to get more of, instead of a child's voice, starts to become more of an actual, you could say, deeper and then menacing voice. Because, so imagine, basically, after Diane became back to her original body, she and basically tried to become the conscious being of Dark Gaia again. She basically, how should I say this? She basically was in control for a good few minutes, but the power she gained and the actual dark creatures of basically the Dark Guy's essence came back and be a part of it. The Dark Guy's power gained more of the negative emotions of people, and it's overwhelmed her because of the greed, the suffering, the hatred, the misery of these people. Or she can just hear all the voices, but it hurts so much. So, give me a minute. Alright, I'm back, everyone. So, I'm just gonna be turning my fan. So, basically, yeah, that's why they hear Diane scream saying it hurts. So, wow, that's a lot higher than usual. So, basically, like, Sonic and Shadow hears Chip saying the negative emotions of every human that all the dark creatures possessed are too much for her to handle. We had to stop her, or at least weaken her. In which Shadow goes like, "Wait, what?" In which Sonic goes like, "Right, how do we do that?" And well, Chip just saying, "You have to distract her long enough so I can basically use some of my power to weaken her." Which Sonic goes, "Right." So he basically flies over to Shadow. He's like, "Shadow, come on!" Which he goes, I can't." He goes, "Huh? Oh, look, if you don't help, everyone's gonna die. The world's in danger, Shadow." He was like, "I know, I just can't hurt Diane." Which Sonic looks at him for a few minutes and nods. He was like, "Alright, then I'll try my best to save her." In which then Sonic is about to fly off, and then looks back at him and goes like, Just get out of the way. It's gonna be too dangerous for you then." And then he flies off. So, Sonic is basically using the Chaos Energy, hitting Diane, just basically Dark Gaia, and being distracted. While Chip is basically, using the energy he basically has and, store it into a concentrated beam of light energy. And, well, while Shadow's on the sidelines watching this battle happen, Shadow's going through his head of all the times he spent with Diane, and all the memories, all basically the fun places they went through. And basically, he really cannot hurt Diane because he thinks of her as an actual daughter. So, this is actually hurting him, to see her like this. In which every scream, that Dark Gaia will be doing is technically in the voice of, sounds like an actual person, but just deeper and more monstrous. So, yeah. Hold up. Sorry, just my dad came from my room. Came into my room. So, basically, as that is happening, Shadow just clenches his fist. He's like, I can't. I can't hurt my own daughter. I can't do it. He just goes on his knees as then, after basically Diane is distracted when Sonic says, "Chip, now!" As basically Chip then uses all his energy that he was shooting at Diane, at Dark Gaia, aka Diane, and it hits. Shadow just sees her screaming out in pain. As Shadow, wants to do something or say something, but he can't. The only thing he can think of is seeing Diane's face. But now it's, it takes the image of Dark Gaia, and, she's in pain, and he wants to stop them. But he doesn't know what to do. So, basically, while he's contemplating everything, Diane basically seeing Chip, but then notices Shadow, as then she basically sees her father figure, aka Papa, not doing anything, not fighting and trying to stop her, and that basically that consciousness that basically makes her into Dark Eye and not caring for nothing, blah blah blah. The the childlike person that basically that Amy and Shadow has been taken care of. The consciousness Diane is there, just swarmed up in a whole lot of darkness and screaming and voices. So let's just go into the consciousness of Dark Gaia, the mind. As Diane is there, just hearing all the voices come in her ears saying it's too much, it hurts, someone stop it. As then she sees this light, and what she sees is the image of Shadow looking destroyed and, doesn't know what to do. And she goes, Papa, you said you wanted to protect this world. Why are you doing nothing? As then she somehow can hear him saying, I can't hurt my own daughter, but I have to save everyone. I have to protect the world. The people. What can I do? As then she just sees him, because it's all in real life time for her. As Shadow just hits the ground with his fist. As she realizes he can't hurt me. He really loves me. As then she takes her hands off of her ears. Well, was already off of them, but gets them down to the ground, pushes herself off of the ground, ignoring all the voices, and then she starts walking to the light. Now, what's happening for Shadow in real time, basically, what Diane saw. Shadow basically just hitting the ground again, because he doesn't want to hurt her. He really cares for her. And then he just says, what am I gonna do, basically? So, as while he's saying that, he just feels someone touch his shoulder, as then when he looks up, he sees Diane. And for some reason, like in those, like you can just see in one of those animes where everything just changed, like, say for some reason, actually, yeah, good example, Naruto. Naruto Shippuden, where Naruto's about to, release the Kyuubi, with the seal. The paper was ripped off, or it was about to, where, Minato, Minato, basically grabs Naruto's hand, and they change scenes. And it was like all that light where the Kyuubi was not around. So basically, yeah, that's what's happening for Shadow and Diane in this spiritual form. And then she goes, Papa, why are you not fighting back? Trying to save the world like you said you always would. Or protect everyone. He goes, but I can't hurt you, Diane. I can't. She goes, I'll be fine. I promise. You just have to weaken me and seal me away. He goes, but you deserve to live. You deserve to live outside of this. Diane, I just don't know what to do. In which she goes, Papa, I'm always going to be with you. Alright? Just get up. Use your power. I know you can. He goes, but what about you? She goes, I'll be here with Chip. I won't be alone. And besides, I don't want to destroy the world. Like you, I come to love it and everyone in it. Especially you and Mama, and Grandma and Grandpa. So, please, Papa. Fight to save the world. Be the Papa I know who's always courageous and strong, but can be a little harsh at times. But does it with a caring attitude. Which Shao just looks at her, and having tears in his eyes, and she goes, now, go show them who is the ultimate life form. As she does, little, push her fist up in the air, and when Shao just chuckles, he goes, yeah. Now, be strong, Papa, for me, and show them all. In which he does nod, and that's after that, she starts fading away. So does, you know, the lights that was around her, which was shocking to Chip and Sonic because that actually was a physical thing that actually happened. Which then and Sonic sees when the light's gone. Shadow gets up. He's basically, for some reason, he can feel all this power coming off of Shadow. As then Fleet says, "She grew up pretty strong, huh?" He goes, "Yeah, Uncle. Yeah, Uncle Speed. She has. What are you gonna do about it, kiddo?" He goes, "I'm gonna show her that her papa is strong." He goes, "And what else?" "And show her why I am the ultimate life form." As then all of a sudden, the Himmerines are still on, but he transforms as super form. But for some reason, Sonic can feel like the Chaos Emerald's energy is growing. And it actually is. Because they're getting bigger. You know how when they basically, how should I say this? There would be that hyper form. Basically, the emeralds would go into Mega Emeralds. Basically, the sense is Sonic has them. He already, became super form with them in the game, in Unleash. But in this one, he does exactly the same thing. But while he has them, for some reason, he doesn't feel like this excess power, is giving him strength. He just sees shadows, like golden aura, and his quill and his hair starting to change to become silver, white. I think silver or white. I think. Hyperform is, but basically I'm just gonna say it's silver just to not be repetitive and, well, I mean by repetitive, not to like repetitive to myself and overthink it. But basically, and there's this multiple color, aura that's coming off, and he was like, what is, as in also basically multiple powers of 7 different colors shoot out to, Shadow, as when they hit him, he basically just screams out, and this massive burst of energy hits him, in which, Fleet basically is laughing. He goes like, "Yes, this is Hyperform! Now, let's show, let's show the world it." In which, well, after basically the power and the shaking stops, and there is that aura of basically that you would see for Sonic, basically in the games in Shadow, basically all of a sudden now it's like multiple color, but then he just closes his eyes, and then this actual, looks like little heat, and the scales are more pronounced. And it's basically the silver quills are still going to be not going green. They're not going green because he's in hyperform. But basically, there's only like a few strands of green in the hyperform. As then when he opens up his eyes, yeah, it's still the same. Still the same, color. But, so, he goes, "Let's see what this can do." So after he basically flies off, it is faster than what Sonic can see. But all you can see is basically energy rope somehow goes around, Dark Gaia. And then basically it's like flown all around. It is like, basically it looks like it's wrapped up around the body of Dark Gaia, then like shot out into multiple areas to keep Dark Gaia restrained. All the while then he used to say, "Go, Papa, go!" In which then, well, meanwhile though, Knuckles has gotten all the Master Emerald pieces together, and the Master Emerald is formed. And then basically he's like, well, at least that's fixed now. So, let's go into, basically, he was going to say what we're going to do today to his to his grandfather, as all of a sudden the Master Emerald is starting to glow now, very bright, which they're all confused, including Knuckles and his grandfather. Where he goes, "Grandfather, what's going on?" Which his Knuckles' grandfather says, I don't know, Knuckles, but what is happening? It's this is amazing. Which he was like, huh? Wait, what do you mean? It seems like someone's heart. The Master Emeralds respond to someone's heart. Basically, as so, we go back to the next shadow. And, well, right he's right in front of Dark Guy who's screaming and roaring at him, he just holds up his hand. He goes, "I'm sorry, Diane. But I know you asked me of this, and I still don't want to. I'm still sorry." So, basically, anyone who's there, basically, Chip and Sonic can see the energy coming off of him. The heat is going, like, becoming, faster, coming off of him, basically. As Sonic asks Chip, he goes like, what's happening? He goes, "That's my power," Chip says. He goes like, "Wait, what?" He goes, I gave him my power. I guess. Well, let's see what's gonna happen. So, as basically, Shadow's still looking at, the Dark Gaia form, and, it's roaring, but then he just sees, he's about to stop because all he sees is Diane, her face, but then all of a sudden, when he's about to, stop, have energy to his attack, he sees then, again, like the image of Diane, just saying, "Do it, Papa!" And he gets back his focus, then he basically, yells out, "Chaos! Light beams!" As all of a sudden, multiple beams of light. This is a mixture of chaos energy and light Gaia's power, so it is way more potent, I would believe, and it hits Dark Gaia. But the attack is non-stopping as Shadow is basically having all the beams of light collide into one as it becomes so bright. Hold up, give me a minute. Okay, as I was saying before I stopped and was wondering why my mom was yelling, basically the beams that are colliding together makes a bright light that covers everything. And in this light, Shadow's still looking, at where Dark Gaia is, and then basically he does have like a little tear going down his face. As then, Diane does appear again, and she goes, "That's the Papa I know, the Papa who's the ultimate life form." And then, she does stop being all cheerful and then looks at him and she goes, "It looks like this will be the last time we ever see each other again. Huh. I really am gonna miss you, Papa." And then he goes, Me too. I really miss you too. Want me to tell anything to Amy?" She goes, "Tell Mama that I really love her. And I'll always be with her in her heart, like you always tell me. Remember?" And then he does nod. "And I'm very proud to have been your guys' daughter. But I want to give you something, Papa." As then she goes through her her pocket and her pants, and then she goes, "Hold out your hand." And he does so, his right one. And then she basically places it in his hand, the two earrings that, he bought her. The dragon ones. He was like, I'll treasure these. Alright? I'll never forget you, Diane." She goes, "I know, Papa. Now, protect this world, like you said to Great Grandma. And Aunt Maria?" Which she does chuckle, saying, "Sorry if I don't remember her name right," which he does nod. He was like, "I will. I'll make sure I make you proud." She goes, "Good. Now, it's time for you to go." And then basically, when the energy stops, basically showing, basically she's gone, and then all of a sudden, like, Dark Gaia is weakened, and then, but he still thinks, he goes, I wish he can live this life without being trapped here. I do want to see her again. There is someone who can basically bring her to the world as her own person. Please do so." As the Master Emerald is glowing brighter, shining so bright that basically it's hard to even tell where anyone's happening. As someone says, it seems like the human Master Emerald made a wish. So pure indeed. Alright, I think we can do that. And so, basically, we go back to the shadow. So, after, the light, because the light dimmed down, and they see Dark Gaia, panting and, limping, face down towards, the magma of the planet. Ship does go over and hold up. Okay, so, as I was saying, so Chip, in his basically the natural form he was in with temples, go over and, well, basically holds, Dark Gaia, as he says, goodbye, Sonic, goodbye, Shadow, as the energy of the Chaos Emeralds do leave, and, basically it did take a lot out of Sonic and Shadow, so, and they do get, the orbs that bring up, as basically Shadow says, goodbye, Diane, goodbye, Chip, Sonic, basically says exactly the same thing. It's unlike in the game where he was unconscious, so basically they go back and they go back to Japan, while the part of the planet that was stopped goes back, and yeah, pretty much. Meanwhile, though, back in the center of Dark Gaia's mind, Diane is going, I'm glad Papa saved the world. I really am gonna miss him and Mama. I just, I really wish I could see them. But like they said, I'm always with them, they're always with me. As then, basically, because it's in darkness where there's no more mind, she's basically asleep. Basically, her body basically asleep where all the voices are not talking no more. So, she then hears the sound of somebody walking. And she goes, wait, who's there? Basically, she doesn't know what to say. She's panicking, scared. As then she hears a voice goes, oh, don't worry about that, little one. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to give you opportunity. In which she goes huh? My mama and papa told me never to talk to strangers. And she goes, oh, I know, but I'm not here to hurt you, I promise. Don't you want to see your papa and mama again? And she goes, huh? Who are you? She goes, oh, my name is Takal. Well, Takal? Kachal? It's hard. I think it's Takal. So basically, as you would see from how she looks like, just type of Sonic Adventures, Echidna, ancient Echidna, basically, I think. But basically, it's Knuckles' ancestor. So, what you would see is just a humanoid version of her. Basically, I'm trying to think of what her hair will be. Basically, color. I think tan. Her hair is a lightish brownish orange. I think tan, basically, as she's wearing an old dress and with different type of jewelry, and I think so. Basically, that's what Diane sees, and she goes, "Huh, Takal?" She goes, "Mm-hmm. I'm friends with Mr. Sonic." She goes, "Really?" She goes, "Mm-hmm. So, I want to give you an opportunity to go back and live amongst everyone. So you see your mama and papa again, okay?" And she goes, "Really? I get to see them again?" He goes, "Uh-huh. But it'll be quite some time before you can." "Okay?" She goes, "Huh? Why?" He goes, "Well, you have to be with somebody. Share, you can say. A mind. You see, there's this girl who's broken. She doesn't really know what to do, nor feel. And she's scared. She can really use a friend. So, I want to ask if you want to go. of course you'll be going through pain. A lot of it. I'm sorry for that, but this is the only way you can ever see your mama and papa again. So, do you want to still go? She goes, you promise? She goes, yes. I will. This is a promise that will never be, well, betrayed or lied to. And I'll make sure I'll basically guide them, your papa over to you, okay? In which she nods. He goes, but I need to talk to somebody real quick. In which she goes, Takao looks at her curiously. She goes, who? She goes, Mr. Sonic! I have to go and talk to him. I have a feeling he's gonna blame himself. So, I don't want him to. Is that okay? She goes, which Takao smiles, goes, of course. We'll go to see Mr. Sonic. Alright? Which she nods. And she goes, thank you, Mr. Takao. And she does chuckle. She goes, now, take my hand. I'll be off. So, basically, this is right before the actual planet, the piece of the planet actually sealed away. So, yeah, they got out of there, and boom. So, basically, we're in the same area where the actual reactor blew up, where we have Ivo and Shadow Act on the same hill. Basically, Sonic and Shadow are there, as basically Shadow is looking off into the distance while Sonic, turned around and saw a chip, so he ran over there, chip faded, and only left, the necklace he had. So he picks it up and puts it on his wrist like he does in Canon, but without anyone noticing, he then clenches his fist and punches the tree. He goes, damn it! I couldn't save one girl! What type of hero? What type of hero can't even save one person? She sacrificed herself and tried to stop it? And now she's trapped. Just what type of hero? He really can't think of anything else besides that. And then he basically says, I'm no hero. I have to work harder. I have to earn my name, not let it rule my life. I have to make it my own. I really am not just a no good. As then basically here's basically someone saying, Mr. Sonic, stop calling yourself that. You are a hero. In which he turns around very quickly and he sees Diane and Takal. Or T'Chall. Yeah, I think it's Takal. So basically he goes like, Diane? Takal? What are you? She goes, hello Sonic, it's been a while. He was like, not. I only know you through name and stories, and pictures, but this is the first time we've ever met. Which Diane looks at him, but he goes, but you said you. He goes, I do. But I know the names of, every Sonic. Well, basically I know every Sonic because I always meet them every so often and talk. It's just, this is the first time I met this Sonic. I'm older than I look, young one. And she goes, oh, okay. Which she goes, now, Mr. Sonic, just because you couldn't stop me, doesn't mean you're not a hero. You were trying to stop me before I went to possess my old body. And you are very kind and very sweet. Of course you're a hero. You have the heart of one. So stop blaming yourself. Of course you're gonna have to get rid of that attitude and arrogance, but you're there. You just need to let your true self out. Besides, I believe in you like I believe in my mama and papa. So, what are you gonna do? Now, which then Sonic looks at her and smiles, goes, I'll just train harder. I'll try to become a hero that everyone can believe in me. And I'll make you proud. So you can smile when you ever see me again. But wait. How are you even here if you're sealed away? Which then Takal says, that would be my doing. You see, Shadow was basically making a wish with all his heart to have, well, his daughter to basically be, how should I say it, to be born again. I'm here just to guide her over to where a young girl needs her. And they'll meet again. And she'll meet you. So, Sonic, what are you going to do? He goes, and then Sonic, basically looks with a determined look. He goes, I'm going to show everyone why I'm called Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not going to show them that my family's great. I'm going to show them what I can do. Make my own name. Use my own power. Come up with my own moves and techniques. And prove to everyone why I'm the fastest thing alive. It doesn't matter if I'm second best or first. Not anymore, that is. Which to call nods. He was like, that's a good attitude. And what else? And she goes, and show that faker who's boss. And then Diane goes, no messing with my papa. You two get along. And he goes, but Diane, she goes, no, get along with my papa. For me, please. And then she basically does the puppy dog eyes and he goes, fine, I admit defeat. Curse you for realizing my weakness. I can't say no to a child. Which then she goes, good. Now, bye, Mr. Sonic. And then she runs over to call and she goes, and basically, before they leave, he goes, keep an eye on my papa for me, please. And then he nods. So, after they leave, we're going to go over to a quick scene where a young girl is in her room, basically crying with basically soulless eyes. She's not, crying like, it's just crying like tears are coming out of her eyes. But basically she has blue hair and a horn, as basically she goes, no one can save me, I need to be a good girl, basically, mumbling that. And then all of a sudden, she's in her mind, as then she hears someone says, hi! And which then she basically turns around and she goes, who are you? She goes, I'm Diane. It's nice to meet you. She goes, she goes, what's wrong? She goes, I'm not supposed to talk to anybody. She goes, why? Because if I do talk, he'll hurt you. She goes, he can't hurt me. I promise. She goes, how? This basically girl with a horn, blue hair, asking. She goes, because we're in your mind, silly. And she goes, huh? He goes, well, what's your name first? She goes, my name's Ari. He goes, well, Ari, I'm Diane. And I'm gonna be your new friend. And I'm always gonna be with you. She goes, huh? Wait, really? She goes, I'll share your pain and your burden. Because you look like you need it. You need a friend, someone to help you. Okay? You sure? She goes, And also, I know somebody who can save us. My papa. And she goes, huh? Your papa? He goes, He's a really good hero. He'll save us really quickly. Faster than you can ever see. So, come on. Cheer up. Because one day we'll be rescued. I promise. But Diane still has her hand out, smiling. Which Aries' eyes are basically coming back to being basically looking like they have life in them. As when she takes Diane's hand, she basically says, because we'll be one. I'll never leave your side. And basically Aries, doesn't smile, but you can see that she's actually crying now, tears of happiness. Outside of the world, outside her mind, Aries' hair still is blue, but now she's getting purple strands in her hair now. Basically, her eyes that are normal, based on her normal eye color, starts to get a little bit of a purple to it, as Aries, basically is blinking her eyes, and then she smiles, and then she goes, now let's see about my new power. Basically, the shadows, some are starting to morph and change. She goes, cool. I wonder. So basically, now Aries' personality is a mixture between the Diane that I made, who technically is a curious rambuck, basically a curious girl who basically is overactive as a child should be, and always asks questions and such, and technically will listen. So basically, she's testing out the quirk she has and this power over shadows now. And well, yeah, she's learning about her quirk and what it can do and such, and basically and she's trying to control it. Basically, Diane was a determined girl to when she starts something, she's gonna finish it. Amy and Shadow learned that out very, very quickly when she started to try to read a book for the very first time without them helping her. So yeah, so basically, we will now go back over to Sonic and Shadow. As Sonic basically is walking over to Shadow, and he goes like, "Hey, Shadow, you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, Sonic, I'm fine. I'm just thinking." As then basically Sonic notices Shadow has basically an earring in his ear. He goes like, "Huh? Earrings?" He goes, "Yeah, it's a set of dragon earrings. Diane wanted me to buy her them, and I did. She gave them back to me as a reminder." Which Sonic just, basically looked away, looked into the distance, like Shadow was like, "Well, that's good. You have a reminder of her at least." Goes, "Yeah, about you." It was, "You mean what I'm gonna do now?" He goes, "Yeah. Well, first off, hi, my name's Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a pleasure to meet you." In which Shadow looks over to his side, looks at him, he's like, and Sonic goes like, "What? I want to try to start over. I want to try to actually be friends and rivals." In which Shadow grins, he goes, "Alright, Sonic. My name is Shadow. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog. I am the ultimate life form." He goes, "Well, nice to meet you, Ultimate." Look, Shadow, I know we have our differences in the past, but hey, I want to try to be your friend now, so. Is that alright? He goes, "Yeah, that's fine. But you seem like you want to say more." He goes, "Yeah, I'm just happy for Amy to actually find someone who actually would treat her right." He goes, "Huh?" He goes, "I realized while I'm dating Sally, I was jealous of you and Amy. I came to realize I may have actually cared for her a lot more than I thought." Which then Shadow smiles and goes, "So, you actually had a crush on her?" He goes, "Yeah, I just was too... You were just too stupid." He goes, "Yeah, pretty much." "Can you promise me something, Shadow?" He goes, "Sure, Sonic. Wait. Sure, no. Sure, yeah, sure, Sonic. What is it?" "Keep her happy and protect her at all costs. Alright?" Which Shadow says, "Of course. But it seems like we're having some company." As in, basically, Shadow, looks over along with Sonic as he sees Tails with the tornado. Goes like, "Hey guys, you did it!" In which Sonic grins. He goes, "Come on." In which Sonic just jogging over, does a little jog over to Tails because he's about to run, but he looks back and sees Shadow looking back at the reactor where the planet basically area was like split and such. Like in the distance. And he goes, "Shadow, you coming?" And then basically he says, "Yeah, I'm coming." He goes, basically says in his hand, "I'll promise, Diane. I'll tell your mom everything. I'm sorry still. I'll miss you." So, then he starts running towards Sonic, and then Sonic starts running. So both of them run over to the exact same tree, side by side, run up it, and then jump off onto the tornado and land on the wings. As basically, it's starting to fly off. As we see off into the distance, Eggman basically going like, "Oh, oh, oh." I'm not gonna do the voice. I just wanted to say it like that. But he was like, "It looked like Sonic and Shadow saved the world once again." Well, I mean, Sonic did, but impressive as Shadow. It seems like he had a new form. But I have to upgrade my robots once again. Maybe I should bring out Metal Sonic. Maybe I even should send out. Basically, if you can, basically, Angel Island Robot Metal Sonic 2. Basically, Mecha Sonic. Yes, basically, that'll be for later. But for right now, as obviously Eggman's starting to change to Ivo, he goes, "My condolences for you, Shadow. I mean, not my condolences." And he goes, "I'm sorry for you, Shadow. I could tell you really love Diane. I won't attack anyone today." Today is the day for you to grieve for the loss of a loved one. So basically, Ivo, flies away. So, meanwhile, with Tails, Sonic, and Shadow, Shadow sits down on the plane, have his arms crossed, while Sonic just, standing on it. He was like, which then Tails goes like, "Sonic, why was the Chaos Emeralds, with Chaos Energy going so haywire? Even the Master Emerald was going haywire too earlier." In which Sonic goes like, "Wait, really? I mean, the Master Emerald. Yeah, I already knew about the Chaos Emerald's energy was going haywire. And Shadow got a new form." Which Tails looks at Shadow and then he nods. But meanwhile, all of a sudden, he, everything changes, basically in his mind. As then he basically says, "Huh? What the? What's going on?" As then he basically then hears someone goes like, "Hey, Shadow! Shadow!" And then he basically turns around, he sees Chip. He goes, "Chip? Is that you?" He goes, "Uh-huh. You had some of my power. I mean, I'm gonna be taking that back, but I did say you'd be able to, well, maybe keep it." Turns out you can't. So the whole entire scales and the different hair color changing and eye color changing will be gone. In which then he goes, "Good. I prefer this form anyways." It was like, yeah, I kind of figured that much. But I do want to say one thing. He goes, which he has an eyebrow raise. He goes, "Go on." He goes like, "Well, basically the heat you produce every time when you're about to go even faster, that is what you'll keep. And your speed will be even faster now. And besides, thank you for saving her. Really, for giving her a life of everything. This is the least I can do. She was my best friend. And besides, here's some chocolate." And then he gives, Shadow a chocolate bar. And he basically takes off a smile. He was like, "Just keep her safe, okay? Never abandon her." I was like, "I won't. Besides, I'll be asleep along with her for a very long time. So, I'm just here to get my power back." He goes, which then Shadow nods. And then he closes his eyes. So then Chip, power comes off of him. But for some reason, he basically when he opens it, he can still feel that energy that comes off and that makes this, the particle effect of, Ultra Instinct, hats, basically. But just none of the hair color changed and everything. He goes, "Goodbye, Chip. It was great to know you." So then he holds out, his fist to make a fist bump. And then Chip, fist bumps. And he was like, "Yeah, it's great to know you too, Shadow. Stay safe." In which he nods. So then after that, he opens up his eyes in a real world while Sonic and Tails were saying, "Shadow!" He was like, "My apologies for that. It seems like the light guy's power was saying something to me afterwards." Which Sonic was like, "Yeah, Chip mentioned something about that, but can you tell me what happened to the Chaos Emeralds?" He was like, "Where are they?" He goes, "Well, after I de-transformed, they went back, scattered around the world." He goes, Probably the one I even have. Hold up. So he basically holds up his hand, and then all of a sudden the green Chaos Emerald, is in his hand. He goes, it seems like this one always will be with me. Interesting. And then it just disappears. And which Sonic goes like, well, that's good, but man, that stinks. Me and Tails, everyone will have to go look for them while you will always have a Chaos Emerald on your side. He goes, of course, I am the ultimate life form. And seems like this one was given to me by my mother. So of course it would always be by my side. And where Sonic chuckles. He's like, anyways, what happened to the Chaos Emeralds? It was, You ever heard of the form Hyper? He goes, no. But you did look like you had, your hair was all silver and your chaos energy was immense. I couldn't even realize how fast you were. So, can you tell me more about it? He was like, For what Fleet tells me, that form increases everything normal to supersonic, well, in your case, supersonic form. Or just the super form. It increases everything, and our chaos energy is more powerful than ever. Even with my Hibber reigns, my power is immense. It seems like I broke down the barrier that was blocking me from this other transformation. If I have it, though, you should have it too. He was like, right. Is it hard, though? He's like, with your level, it would take maybe a couple of years. I'll help train you at least. The power was basically put a lot of strain on the muscles. So, you understand what that means, right? Because, yeah, I gotta get stronger. Physically and probably mentally. Grow out my childlike behavior, which Shadow does not. I was like, no, though. It seems like this is my stop. So he basically turns over to, to basically his right, and he looks back at, Sonic. He says, I'll see you at school. I'll see you at school whenever. Oh, and Tails, thanks for the ride. So he just jumps off the tornado. As Tails looking over his side, he just sees Shadow basically just, free falling. And Sonic goes like, kind of a show off if you think about it. And which Tails was like, oh, come on, don't tell me you never shown off before. He was like, I'm not. I said, kind of, if you really think about it. So, as we just see Shadow falling. As he goes, what am I going to tell Amy? She'll be devastated. But she'll understand. So basically, while he was thinking of this, he was falling faster and faster until he does a little front flip, and then basically he uses his rocket sneakers to hover, and then it's basically them just suddenly going down, look like he's actually controlling it. And after a few minutes, he does land. He's back in front of his apartment. So he basically is walking up to the steps, goes over to where his basically the apartment is, opens up. Amy's there along with Inko and Aizawa ain't. So basically, when she sees Shadow, she doesn't see Diane. She goes, "Where is she? What happened?" As Shadow looks away, and basically Amy covers her mouth, and she's about to cry. But Shadow appears right in front of her, hugging her. He was like, shh. Basically, it'll be alright. She wanted me to weaken her. Which, she was like, what? Why? And basically, he kind of explained what happened, and then he kind of tells her what Diane wanted to say to her, and then Amy's crying more out of, basically sad, basically many emotions. She's sad, she's angry, she's happy, she's proud. She feels, basically she doesn't never want to forget Diane. So after a few minutes of this happening, Shadow basically, makes her look up at him, and he goes, I'm sorry, should have done something more, I know, but I didn't. Which then Amy says, nods her head no, you didn't do nothing, you did the best you can, and she wanted this, so I'm not mad at you, I'm just mad I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't say goodbye to her, as then all of a sudden, Shadow just basically just kisses Amy, basically, as she doesn't, stop him, or, reject him, and after a few minutes, he stops kissing her, and then he says, sorry, and then basically she just, basically grabs his face, puts both hands on his cheeks and nods no, it was okay. So then she does kiss him and then hugs him. So he then, faces all red, he was like, so are we, she does nod, and he does hug her. So basically this little quiet scene, basically does tell her to text her parents, in which she does, and she's just saying she's gonna spend the night at the Midoriya. I mean, the Aizawas tonight, which her mom's asking her. Basically, they know about everything they've done, but they don't know what happened to Diane. So basically, Amy tells them, and they said it's okay. So, in a sense, Amy spends the night, and basically they just watch movies. That's really just what happens. But anyways, more will be happening in the next part. I'm just gonna show you guys this part later. Hope you guys like it. I'm gonna try to make another video tomorrow, hopefully. Probably not. I don't know. I'll have a whole bunch of work I gotta do. I'll try to see what I can do, guys. So bye, everyone. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.